Welcome to I Am One. I am Demina, your host, and it's good to be here with you. Today, I want to talk about on this, what Sunday is it? One second Sunday in October, 10/13/24. I want to talk about some things that are coming up that I plan to participate in. So I wanted to give you a heads up on that. And as we go forward, explain some of those things to you. But first, what I would like to let you all know about me is I am a witch. I am what they call eclectic, meaning that I do several things in my practice, one of them being some hoodoo, the other being some planetary magic and some other types of magic and working with different types of spirits. And so I thought I have never publicly shared that. And I think now that we're in the season of the witch, that I would do that. And the other reason is because of what I plan on participating in the next few days. There is a witch online by the name of the Wild Witch who is putting. She put out a call to different creators or any creator who wanted to participate in the Samhain, 13 Nights of Samhain challenge. And each night for 13 nights, starting October when is it starting? October 19th through the end of the month. There's a different prompt for each day that each person who's participating will answer that prompt question and share a little bit more about themselves in answering that question. And I am one who, as you know, or some of you may know my background, I grew up in a Christian home, and we really didn't celebrate Samhain or AKA Halloween. We didn't celebrate that. I remember as a child, my mother would allow us to dress up, but we can only go to our aunts and uncles' houses to get candy. We couldn't go to strangers. We were living in high rise at that time, and so we would go down to the 6th floor to our aunt's house or her apartment. We would go up to the 16th floor to one of our uncle's apartments. But anybody that lived in our apartment building that we knew, whether they were family or they were a good friend of my mother's, those were the only places that we could go to get candy. Other than that, we didn't do anything. And so I'll share more about my experiences as I answer the prompts each day of the challenge. But coming out of Christianity and into my spiritual path that I'm on now, I still never really got into Samhain or Halloween. I remember as a Christian, people will ask, do you celebrate? I'm like, no, I don't celebrate death. And I had my nose in the air and was quite proud of that I didn't celebrate death. And any Christian that I saw celebrating Halloween or giving it a different name like trunk or treat instead of trick or treat, to me, it was like, you're doing the same thing. So you're a hypocrite. And so I never really participated in that full-fledged. I never decorated the house. I never, my husband would buy a big pumpkin and he would carve it with our son when he was small. So we always had like a little pumpkin carved. But really, other than that, we didn't get into it. He wasn't allowed to go trick-or-treating, and on Halloween day, he would go to school in the morning, and then come lunchtime when they did the Halloween parade throughout the school, he would get picked up early and he would spend the rest of the day at home. So this time of year was never a time to celebrate for me because I wasn't into death and celebrating death, which is hilarious because I have done a 180 on that one. I speak with my ancestors on a regular basis. I getting into the practice of speaking with spirits, communing with spirits. And so to go from that end of the spectrum to where I am today is just, I'm now the hypocrite, but not so much because I don't call myself a Christian and then participate in the practice. So anyway, I thought that I would share what Samhain, just a brief synopsis of what Samhain is about. and I got this information from Wikipedia. But Samhain is spelled S-A-M as in Mary, H-A-I-N. So it looks like it should be pronounced Samhain, but the technical term or the correct way to pronounce it is Samhain. It is a Gaelic festival on the 1st of November, marking the end of the harvest season and beginning of winter, or the darker half of the year. It's also the it is also the Irish language name for November. Celebrations begin on the evening of October 31st, since the Celtic day began and ended at sunset. This is about halfway between the autumnal equinox and winter solstice. It is one of the four Gaelic seasonal festivals, along with Imbolc, Beltane, and Lugnasa. Historically, it was widely observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. A similar festival is held by the Brittonic Celtic people called Caelan Gaeaf in Wales. Samhain is believed to have Celtic pagan origins, and some Neolithic passage tombs in Great Britain and Ireland are aligned with the sunrise at the time of Samhain. It is mentioned in the earliest Irish literature from the 9th century and is associated with many important events in Irish mythology. The early literature says great gatherings and feasts marked Samhain when the ancient burial mounds were open, which were seen as portals to the other world. Some of the literature also associates Samhain with bonfires and sacrifices. The festival was not recorded in detail until the early modern era. It was when cattle were brought down from the summer pastures and livestock were slaughtered. Special bonfires were lit, which were deemed to have protective and cleansing powers. Like Beltane, Samhain was a liminal or threshold festival, when the boundary between this world and the other world blurred, making contact with the AOC, or the spirits or fairies, more likely. So you'll hear during this time different people talking about the veil is thinning. The veil is thinning. It's the thinning of the veil, and that just means the ability to have contact with those who have passed on to the other side is much easier. Personally, I think the veil is always thin. I think we always have the ability to contact those on the other side. It's just that now during this time, our focus is more aware. Our awareness of this time is more focused on that particular type of communication, and therefore it seems as though it's easier. To me, it's easy all the time. It just depends on how you see it. If you need to communicate with those on the other side, get you a candle, get you some water, sit down, relax, meditate, and bam, there you go. But I get how they say this is an easier time, or the veil is thinner, because there are more people focusing on this time. There are more people who are dedicated to this time. And so, yes, it would be easier because there's more of a concerted effort to have that type of communication. Continuing. Most scholars see them as remnants of pagan gods. At Samhain, they were appeased with offerings of food and drink to ensure the people and livestock survived the winter. The souls of dead kin were also thought to revisit their homes seeking hospitality, and a place was set at the table for them during a meal. Mumming and guising were part of the festival from at least the early modern era, whereby people went door to door in costume, reciting verses in exchange for food. The costumes may have been a way of imitating and disguising oneself from the AOC. Divination was also a big part of the festival and often involved nuts and apples. In the late 19th century, John Rees and James Fraser suggested it had been the Celtic New Year, but that's in dispute. In the 9th century, the Western Church endorsed the 1st of November as the date of All Saints' Day, possibly due to the influence of Alcuin, and November 2nd later became All Souls' Day. It is believed that Samhain and All Saints / All Souls influenced each other and the modern Halloween. Most American Halloween traditions were inherited from Irish and Scottish immigrants. Folklorists have used the name Samhain to refer to Gaelic Halloween customs until the 19th century. Since the later 20th century, Celtic neo-pagans and Wiccans have observed Samhain or something based on it as a religious holiday. So in a nutshell, that's what the holiday, the tradition is all about. There's so much more information on that. So if you want more about it, go ahead and research it. There's a plethora of information regarding it. I just kind of wanted to give just a little synopsis of the origins and what it means to us today, especially those of us who are not Celtic. Although my father used to tell us, and he still believes this, that we are, I wouldn't say Celtic. What did he call us? Yeah, I guess that is. He said that we do have some Irish blood in us. I guess my maiden name, which I won't tell you, denotes that even though it doesn't sound Irish, denotes that we do have some Irish ancestry. I have not scoped that out to see how true that is, but he believes it with all his heart, so I let him have that belief. So anyway, each night starting October 19th through the 31st, I will upload a video answering the prompt that has been given. And you get to learn a little bit more about me and what I do or don't do. And obviously, I just told you I've grown up not really doing a whole lot. So we'll go through and talk about, what I plan to institute or how far I plan to go in participating in this time of year. And we will go from there. So before I leave you for today, I wanted to pull a card from the Hoodoo Tarot deck, because we are still in the month of October. This is still Hoodoo Heritage Month. And so I believe that this is fitting that these things are aligning and they're coming together. And I believe that we can coexist in this time and honor the way we honor and still incorporate some other things. So the card that I pulled today was the Mother of Sticks. I have pulled this card before, but this card, I really like this card. This woman in this picture, this mother in this picture knows who she is. She is okay with who she is. She's not apologizing for who she is. She's not apologizing for the way she practices, for the way she operates, for the way she moves and grooves in her sphere of influence. She has no apology for that and is quite secure. Hear me. And is quite secure in who she is. She has her cigarette or pipe or whatever you want to call that. She has that in her mouth. She has her animal there that is lighting it up for her. She has what is that? Is that like a feather? She's got her cultural wear on. She is okay with who she is. She is confident in who she is and unapologetic about it. So I think that it is fitting that I would pull this card and speaking on where I have come from, where I am now, and where I'm going. And I am okay with all of it. I am okay with how I have evolved. I'm okay with how I grew up. I am not I used to be mad about it when I started learning some truths about Christianity. I'm no longer mad about that. It did help shape me into the person that I am. And then it also, I believe, gave me foundation. And there's some things that, yes, you can hold on to, and some other things, the bones that you can spit out and throw in the trash. Absolutely. But I think overall, it made me a good person, a person that cares, a person that loves, a person that looks out for her fellow man, woman, human being. But then there's the side where I am now that has allowed me to go deeper, to see who I was all along, to see what I feared all along, and know that I don't have to fear it anymore, that I can embrace it, that I can walk in it, and have been empowered by all of that. So anyway, let me stop because I'll get into where I'm not supposed to, and I'll share all that other stuff later. So anyway, hope that encourages you today and this week coming ahead. Have a great day. Have a great week. And I will see you next time. Peace and blessings to you all.